You are now tuned in to the Hits 92.3, where we take great pride in personal expression of their respective advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. Now stay tuned as this show begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Legacy Crypto Builders. I'm your host, Diana Townsend, right here on Hits Radio 9. I'm here each and every Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to dive into the transformative world of blockchains with a purpose. Join us as we explore how today's pioneers are building the legacy of tomorrow, one block at a time. Stay tuned. The future of blockchain starts now. Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Townsend, and I am the Chief Visionary here at the Legacy Crypto Builders. We're here each and every Wednesday from 12 to 1, and we're talking all things blockchain. We're talking blockchains with a purpose. And I'm here. We decided to have an encore performance because last week's show, it was so much information that I had wanted to share. And my mission is to empower individuals to harness the transformative potential of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology by providing them with the knowledge, the resources, and tools necessary to become successful entrepreneurs in the rapidly evolving field. The Legacy Crypto Builders are dedicated to helping people achieve financial freedom by fostering innovation, creativity, and collaboration in the cryptocurrency blockchain, the artificial intelligence communities. We're going to do that through education, mentorship, and community building. We aim to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to participate in the exciting and rewarding world of blockchain entrepreneurship. I have the pleasure of having my guest here, Mr. Cliff. I am Mr. Money O'Neill, and we decided we weren't done talking. We got some more stuff to talk about. So, Cliff, just give them like maybe 2 minutes and give them an idea about who you are, how long you've been in here, and then we're going all in.
All right, cool. Well, first off, thank you for having me back on. It's definitely a pleasure. So me personally, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I've been a full-time investor since 2010. Got into the cryptocurrency space in late 2011. Been here ever since. I've actually taught multiple students. I've taught now 780 students. Yeah, 780 students. Created 26 millionaires, have 30 millionaires, future millionaires getting ready to walk into the millionaire club in February when Bitcoin hits the next all-time high. And I also helped retire 106 people. I'm also a published author. I have written over 40 books. I have 3 books that actually are published right now as we speak. Just an all-around entrepreneur, all-around investor.
Awesome. So we talked a lot last week about blockchain and just what was happening in the world. So we going in.
Let's get it.
The first thing I want to talk about, let's start off with World War III. Talk to us a little bit about World War III.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand right now, what's going on right now in the space and in the climax of this country, the climate of this country, is the fact that we're literally getting ready to go into the next World War. And what I mean by that is, if you look at everything that's going around right now on this planet, when it comes down to the economy of multiple countries, especially this country, when it comes down to just all around mayhem, everything is leading towards us going into the next World War, especially dealing with Russia and China. So something interesting happened within the last 22 days. First thing that happened within the last 22 days was Russia actually declared us as an enemy of Russia. That's the start. The second thing that actually happened is Russia actually sent warships, 7 warships and 2 war submarines to the coastline of Cuba. And they were pointed directly at South Florida. The third thing that happened was Russia literally blamed the United States for the death of Russians and a bombing that happened overseas, and said there will be retaliation behind it. That's an act of war. That's the act of war. But this war is not going to be like anything else that we've seen before. This war is going to be something on a financial plane, a financial background, which could be even more detrimental, to be honest.
That's insane. So we're talking crypto, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and AI. How does all of that tie into this war? You're saying it's going to be a financial war. Explain that. Elaborate a little bit more about that. Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
So, in order for us to really, really dive in and really, really go deep, we have to understand how our financial system is set up to begin with. You see, prior to I want to say 1937, we were actually under what's called the gold standard, meaning that our money, our resources were backed by physical commodities. Our resources then were backed by gold. It was backed by oil. It was backed by silver. It was backed by copper. It was backed by cotton. Something that was tangible, something that people could actually put their hands on. A lot of people don't know that you used to be able to go to a banking system and actually take your fives, your tens, your 20s, your $50 bills and actually convert those over into physical gold. See, back then they actually made it illegal to set up the system that we currently living under right now, which is the proof of trust system, meaning that we have to trust that the government has our best interest at heart. We have to trust that the government has assets to back up the debt that we hold here as Americans. We have to entrust that into our government system. But what have we seen over the past 2.5 years? Nothing but higher inflation levels, higher gas prices, higher groceries. Hell, even the lack of groceries, the lack of gas. So when you really break things down, are we going into a better state as a country, or are we going into a deeper state of depression? Think about it.
Let me ask you before we go any further. Just touch on a little bit the presidential debate. What's your take on?
I think it was a clown show, to be honest. Let's be 100. Let's be 100. It was a clown show. One person couldn't remember their lines, and the other person was just trying to clown everybody. To be honest, it was actually very, very hilarious. It was like a reality TV show to me, to be honest.
Okay, so just say, for instance, somebody, we all have our own opinions on who we want to vote for, but let's talk about whether Democratic or Republican. Like, it's important who gets into office this year because of the situations that we're currently in financially. Let me hear Mr. Aya, Mr. Money's opinion. What should happen for this presidential debate? Like, who do you see being in office, being in a better situation, putting us in a better situation financially?
Well, I'm kind of torn between the two, to be honest, because I don't really get into the political thing, to be honest, because I think they're two wings of the same damn bird.
Oh, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Say that for the people in the back of the church.
Two wings of the same damn bird, But I mean, if you want to go to the story, I'm a historian by nature. I love history. So you really want to go to the history behind everything, honestly. And it's a lot of people, especially people of color, they don't want to hear this. The Republicans have done more so for people of color than any other party, right? But when it comes down, we're biased to the Democrats. Me personally, as a person who actually accumulate wealth, the more and more and more I grew financially, the more benefits I received from the Republicans. It is what it is, to be honest. But that does not mean that you don't have certain aspects of things that have benefits from the other side as well. So me personally, here's my humble opinion, and I speak how it is. I think people of color should just sit this one out.
We can't do that, Cliff.
I think we should sit that one out.
That's impossible. We cannot do that.
Here's why I say
can't. We would be in so much trouble.
Nope. You know why I say that?
Why?
We'll realize how much power we actually have.
Explain that.
Think about it. We've been voting Democrat for how many years? And we've got absolutely nothing. What have we really gotten from voting Democrat? Because the Republicans are the one who actually freed slaves.
Cliff, I'm gonna scoot your chair over a little bit in a minute.
All right. I'm being 100. I'm being 100. Let's be completely honest. If you go back to look at the historical facts, it's true. What have we really received from voting Democrat? What have we really received from voting Republican? I think if we was to completely withhold our vote this year, they will see how much power we actually have, and then we can get someone in who's going to actually help us, who's actually going to give us benefits. Think about that.
I'm not happy. I'm a Cliff fan all day. I feel like stabbing you right now. Like I'm gonna reach over and stab you with my pen. But I do have to respect how you feel, because one thing I can say is, I don't know, I'm a little biased. So I vote Democrat. That's no secret. I'm not gonna sugarcoat what it is. I just cannot I will not, under no circumstances, put my vote on a clown.
Mhm.
Because that means if I put my vote over there, that means I will be a part of that circus. I can't see, I just can't see, I can't do that. So
I understand. I definitely
I can't
understand.
support that
Yeah.
clown. I'm
Yeah.
not part of that clown show.
I understand. I absolutely understand. I'm not saying everyone should go vote for Trump. I'm not saying I'm Republican. I'm saying that I think that we will truly see our power when we completely withhold that vote. Then they will have to be forced to come to the Black community and say, okay, what do you really want? What do you really need? And we can sit down at that table.
Okay, now I can understand that a little bit more. So I didn't really think about it from that standpoint. But what happens in the meantime? So what happens in the meantime?
What happens in the meantime is we sit this one out and let them go ahead and fight among themselves. And we will see
And what
how
are we going to do? It's going to take 4 years for that to happen.
4 years. We've already been waiting 400.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'll be quiet on that note.
Those 4 more years.
But in the meantime, that 4 years is a long year. That's a long time financially for us to be in a situation where we sat out and that clown show potentially take over. We don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. We don't know where we will be at in this world in that 4 years, because yeah, we're just we're holding out to see how much power we have. But what would happen to us? Do you know what could potentially happen in 4 years?
Mm-hmm. I also know what happened in the last 400.
Pick on my pen again.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. What's 4 more years compared to the last 400 years of discrimination, of enslavement, of brutality? What's 4 more years? I think we honestly, as a people, don't know our true value. We don't know our true power. We don't. And the power of withholding something from someone will cause them to come back and say, okay, I see you.
Okay, let me, oh my God, I can't believe I got to say this. I might have to agree with you because I feel like I'm dealing with that right now. I'm in some holding withdrawal myself from a particular situation because I feel like they don't value the access that was granted. So when you take the access away, now, because that's the key word, people don't understand that. Access opens up everything for you. And I always say, no leverage, no life. If you don't have, when people realize, wow, I did not know what I had when I had that access. So when you take that access away, like sometimes I sit back and I be saying to myself, God, I gotta say something. I gotta tell, I gotta share this information. And then I come back to say, and why would you do that? Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? One thing that you shared with me, you said, don't allow people to use you when they're useless to you. Mm-hmm. That was one of our counseling sessions. And when you said that, I wrote that down. I got that on my vision board. And I was like, that's powerful. And sometimes people don't understand because when you have access, like that's why I wanted you to come on the show, because I have access to you. And having access to you, I wanted listeners, the world, the Hits family, anybody that was listening, I wanted them to have access to you because I value the conversations we have. I appreciate the content that you share with me because my show, the majority of the time, I'm talking about my platform, Connect United. But in actuality, I want to talk about the blockchain. I want to talk about AI. I want to talk about how powerful and why people should be looking at the blockchain. So that made me open up to say, Cliff, why you don't come on my show? Because of the access I have to you and all the things that you share with me. I was like, the world needs to know, like, they need to listen to you. They need to have access to you, and they need to know, like I always, like I said, I'm an advocate for you because of how much you pour into me. So yeah, that access is important, even though I ain't in agreement with everything.
I mean that in itself is important because everybody has different viewpoints. Everybody has different motives. Everybody have different motivations. So you're not always going to be in agreement with everybody. But I think just the back and forth to bounce off of other people's ideas will definitely give you more enlightenment when it comes down to the way we all move, right? And you're absolutely right. When you restrict access to yourself, you see how important you are, and it allows other people to see how important you are, right? So you're absolutely right. If you're not useful, you're useless.
Say it again.
If you're not useful in my space, in my network, in my life, you're useless. And if you're useless, you have to be over there.
just so y'all know, this is my coach. So understand the information that I'm getting and that I am transferring to the world, I get it straight from I am Mr. Money. You know, so we're gonna go into commercial break and we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about the ISO. What is it?
222.
222.
Something everybody needs to listen to.
And then we're going to talk about the blockchain revolution, and then we're going to talk about BlackRock. We're really going to get into it. So we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I'm saying, Love Bug, is your voice is already low. You got to talk directly into the mic because you're talking to him. And so the mic on it, even though it's a microphone, if it's not going directly into the mic,
is that?
Yes, it's gonna sound like you're going down a hall. So when you're talking to him, don't look at him. I know it's the right thing to do, so it's not rude.
Okay.
But also remember, you got a camera.
I got a
on
camera.
you. So if you're facing him, you're only getting half of your head.
Oh shoot. Okay, got it.
Too deep.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Oh, we at the top of the toe.
It gotta be like that because I can't say. And it's the truth. You can't agree with 100% of everything because to me, I feel like you become a flume. So it's good. It's transparent because I never even thought about not voting because people die for the right for us to vote. So I never would think like that. So that's why when you say certain things, I'm just like, I ain't think about it like that. I like it.
They also died for the right of vote, you know. If they knew our vote really didn't really count right now, I think they'll be like, I'm died to vote.
Wow. Which one you want to go with first?
It's ISO.
How do you say it?
ISO 222.
ISO 222.
This is gonna be kind of long. I'm gonna be a little long with doing this.
It's okay because we got 20. We got till 50. They're gonna pop right there. And what about BlackRock? You want to do that first?
It kind of all goes into the same thing.
Okay, cool.
Even hit on World War III with this one as well too.
We should come back once a month because we get ready to go into like I didn't realize how much the war affected people.
Yeah.
All I ever talk about, I feel embarrassed to say this. I only looked at Connect.
Not embarrassing. That's what you were comfortable with. See, my job is to get you uncomfortable.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in to Hits 92.3. I am Diana Townsend, the Chief Visionary Officer here, and we're talking all things blockchain and blockchains with a purpose here with Cliff. I am Mr. Money O'Neill. So Cliff, let's go into it. Let's talk about ISO 222.
Yeah, ISO 222. This is something that every single person, if you never heard of this before, if you have heard of this before, I think every single person in this country, all over the world, should listen to what's getting ready to occur with the ISO 222. So first off, what does the ISO actually stand for? It stands for the International Standardization of Operations. The International Standardization of Operations. All right. So the ISO, every single industry in the world has their own ISO. It's basically the code or the compliance code for every single industry in the world that is ran by the United Nations, right? So every industry in the world has an ISO. So to go, before we dive into what the ISO 222 is, we have to first go back in time a little bit. We have to talk about the Russian and Ukrainian war. I'm pretty sure this is a war that everybody's heard of, right? Right? It's the war that's actually still going on right now. So what a lot of people don't know is Russia actually went to the UN before they invaded Ukraine. I know CNN and MSNBC, they were saying that Russia just completely invaded Ukraine. No, they actually went to the UN first and asked the UN, for sanction to invade Ukraine. The UN told them no and put an emphasis behind that, saying that if you do invade Ukraine without our knowledge or without our permission, we will completely cut you off from using the SWIFT system. Now, what exactly is the SWIFT system? The SWIFT system is a system that governs all fiat currency around the world. Fiat, for people who don't know, fiat is the dollar bill. It's the Russian ruble. It is the Japanese yen. Fiat currency is basically a currency that backs the country. Some countries have their fiat currency backed by physical commodities. Others have their fiat currency, like the United States, backed by a promise. All right. But anyway, we're not going too deep into that. So Russia did something that was extremely brilliant. And I think it was strategically planned, to be honest. They went to a company called Ripple. Y'all know I talk about XRP a lot. Let's get into it. They went to a company called Ripple and started using Ripple's system. Now, Ripple has a system under RippleNet, two systems, one called XRapid, the other one called XCurrent. Now, Ripple, the corporation, Ripple, their systems from the very beginning were built to replace the SWIFT system. Now, remember, the SWIFT system is a system that governs all fiat currency around the world. So Ripple systems were built from the very beginning to be a replacement system for that SWIFT system. I want everybody to really, really understand and hear me on that. Ripple systems were built from the very beginning to be a replacement for our current SWIFT system. Now, the SWIFT system came in place in 1953. It is one of the oldest systems on the planet. It's actually so old that it still to this day, it takes 7 to 10 business days for a transaction to fully go through. 7 to 10 business days, right? So Russia started testing Ripple systems for 10 months. On the 11th month, they invaded Ukraine. This is what we heard all over MSNBC. This is what we heard on CNN. This is what we heard all over the world, that Russia invaded Ukraine. It's kind of crazy because I was actually in Dubai when this actually happened. So I've seen it from both different spectrums. I've seen it from the United States standard, and I also seen it from over there in Dubai, which was crazy, right? So with that being said, the SWIFT system did exactly what they said they were going to do. They completely cut Russia off. What they didn't know was Russia had already converted all of their systems over onto the blockchain. Now we're going into the blockchain. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. They converted all of their systems over to Ripple's blockchain. And some amazing things started to happen. Some beautiful things started to happen. Right. And I say beautiful from the standpoint of I am a blockchain. First off, I went to school for blockchain development. I have a degree in information tech. But anyway, so from a tech side, it was beautiful, but it caused ruckus. What happened was when they cut Russia off, that move was supposed to bankrupt Russia overnight because Russia wouldn't be able to circulate the dollar bills around the world anymore. It was supposed to completely collapse the Russian economy. What it did was it helped Russia build a network that was 12.3 times larger than the network they already had. Also, for the first time in human history, transactions, world transactions, and not just fiat currency, not just the Russian ruble, but Bitcoin, gold, oil, silver, and cobalt was moving around the world in seconds and for pennies on the dollar compared to the billions upon billions and trillions of dollars it took them to move around the world previously. So transactions were moving around the world cheaper, a lot cheaper, because it only costs you 0.00015 XRP tokens for you to be able to circulate a dollar bill around XRP's network.
Wow.
It also caused something that was even more important. It showed the world that we don't have to move by the standards of the UN anymore. So Russia is a part of this system called the BRICS system. The BRICS system stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right. They're like the small little weird kid table at school when we were at lunch, when we were in high school. The UN being the more popular kid table, where the football players and the basketball players and the cheerleaders actually hung out. Now, nobody likes the BRICS system, but that move allowed the BRICS system to really, really show their power. It allowed the BRICS system to really, really harness in on their power because they had been making moves for years and no one actually paid attention to it. Let me ask you this. What is the most mineral rich place on the planet?
That I don't know.
Mother Africa.
Okay.
Africa is the most mineral rich place on the planet. Who has been building partnership after partnership and buying country after country for the last 22 years? China and Russia. Let's also talk about this as well. There was an African forum where 90% of the African leaders got together last year, around June of last year, as a matter of fact, where they all came together and they wanted to discuss the standard of which they would be moving from now on. The conversation was all centered around the United States dollar bill. Do you know that there was a standing ovation when all of them said, you know what? For years, the Western world has raped Mother Africa out of its resources, and we haven't got any benefits. We know China and Russia want our minerals, but at least they're bringing in benefits. They denounce the use of the United States dollar bill. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. That's happening. Also, get this. Most of those African countries have signed up in some form or fashion to be a part of the BRICS system now.
Now the BRICS system went from the little table in the corner, but now they're evolving.
It gets deeper. It gets deeper. Let's talk about, let me ask you this question. Where does all of our oil come from? Most of the oil in the world, where does it come from?
I thought it was Saudi Arabia.
The Middle East. Do you know what made America great? What made America the powerhouse we are now? Made the United States dollar the standard of the world was the peace treaty we had with Saudi Arabia that was put in place by Nixon. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That peace treaty was severed last year because Saudi Arabia is on the BRICS now.
Is there a way to drop the mic?
I don't know. I could drop my phone. That peace treaty was completely severed by Saudi Arabia. Let's talk about it. Saudi Arabia has officially signed up for the BRICS. Not just Saudi Arabia. Most of the Middle Eastern countries are full throttle BRICS.
Leaving the SWIFT system?
Not leaving the SWIFT system, converting over into the BRICS dollar system. Meaning they're going to start using the Chinese dollar and Russian dollar instead of the United States dollar bill for their transactions.
So what position does that put us in?
Oh, we ain't done yet.
Let me flip the page.
We ain't done yet. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because this is all going into the economy and people don't understand how bad the economy has already gotten. Let me ask you this question right here. Now we're coming back to the United States. How much land? Oh, before we get into that, right now we are 37.5%, $5 trillion in debt. 37.5 trillion. If you really look at it, we're truly in true debt. We're over $100 trillion in debt. Who owns most of the United States debt? China. 92%, as a matter of fact.
92% of that?
92% of our debt is owned by China. Let's dive a little deeper. How much land do you think China owns in the United States of America right now? 237,000 acres of land. Russia owns 137,000 acres of land.
I ain't writing fast enough. Tell me that. What's that number again with the land? How much?
237,000 acres of land. Russia owns another 137,000 acres of land. How much land do we own in either China or Russia? I'll give you a clue. You can't even count them on your fingers. You don't even need anything. Zero. We don't own any land in either one of those countries. Oh, let's dive a little bit deeper. The land they own is surrounding the major lakes of a lot of the major cities in America. Do you know what that means? You control the water, you control what? The people. That's a war tactic.
So nobody's seen this coming?
Oh, they've seen it coming. We're not paying attention. We're too busy on TikTok. We're too busy on Instagram. We're too busy trying to live our best lives on social media, yet knowing that most people right now have less than $500 in their bank accounts. We're too busy with everything else in the world but getting our financial situation together. So, the UN seen this. And honestly, they were not prepared for when Russia made that move with Ripple. They seen that and said, you know what? We need to dismantle Ripple. We need to complete this. By the way, let me go ahead and add this in. This all happened while Ripple was in the damn lawsuit. Let's talk about it. It all happened while Ripple was in the lawsuit with the SEC. The lawsuit they keep trying to bring up, which honestly, in my humble opinion, they were doing that only to get the hands of Ripple out of the hands of the people of the United States of America. Because at one point, a lot of people own XRP. They want to get as much XRP out of the hands of the people of the United States. That's my humble opinion about it. I'm stronghold on that one. So they wanted to dismantle Ripple. The United States stepped in and said, no, we need to partner with Ripple. We need to partner with this company. They formed a partnership. Yes, the United States and the UN have a partnership with Ripple. Also, BlackRock has a partnership with Ripple. If you don't know who BlackRock is, I think you need to look it up. They have a partnership with Ripple. And they came up with what's called the ISO 222. Now, the ISO are the International Standardization of Operations. That is a system or a code for the operation systems of the financial markets of the world. Listen to me very closely, because the information I'm giving y'all right now can literally make you put $1 million in your pocket. They partner with Ripple and multiple other different cryptocurrency companies to take over the financial markets by the end of 2025. Let me say that again. They partner with Ripple. They partnered with another cryptocurrency called XDC and one of my other favorite cryptocurrencies, Stellar Lumens, to completely take over the transactions of every single financial market on the planet by the end of 2025. To give y'all the exact date, October 21st, 2025. That's next year.
Okay, stop right there. I think we already dropped the mic, but I think this is the time you should tell them how to get in contact with you. These are the conversations I have every Wednesday, and I'm like, stop talking so fast. I don't write this fast. Like, I'm taking notes. I'm doing this. And I remember saying, wait, I got to get my portfolio together. I got to write these tokens down. All this information you're giving me, like, he just be talking. I'm like, slow down. And now I'm sitting here like, all of this information, to me, I feel like you drop it, whether it's on social media, whether it's just free. You give so much information freely, but at the same time, sometimes people don't value things for free. Mm-hmm. And you offer courses, you offer training, like the information that you've dropped on here today. I just feel like you're supposed to tell people, this is how you get in touch with me. These are my classes. These are my courses. And I think you should share that information. Then pick the mic up and keep on going.
Okay. Let me finish this point first, and I'll do that. So when it comes down to the ISO, the UN is going directly to every single country in the world, because right now a lot of people understand this or don't know this. There are already 73 countries that have already completely became BRICS compliant or have signed up for the BRICS, including North Korea. As a matter of fact, Vladimir Putin was just in North Korea with what's his name, Jim Kong-yi, whatever his name is. I forgot his name. He was in North Korea with the leader of North Korea, because North Korea is full throttle BRICS now. So there are already 73 countries that are fully 100% going with the BRICS, are applied for the BRICS systems. There are 47 countries that have become ISO compliant, because the ISO is the system that will be running our financial system, our entire financial system, not just the United States, the entire financial system of the world by 2025, by the end of 2025. There are already 47 countries right now who are fully 100% ISO compliant, including Switzerland, Germany, and Australia. Now, what this means is these cryptocurrencies, and Ripple sits at the top of the list, XRP sits at the top of the list, will be the fabric behind our financial systems. They're not asking countries to go ISO compliant. They're forcing them to. And they're saying, if you do not become ISO compliant by October 21st, 2025, you are an enemy of the UN. We're going to automatically assume you with the BRICS. That alone is World War III. So you can get in contact with me on Facebook, Clifton O'Neal. You can also get in contact with me on IG at Mr. I Am Money, TikTok, Crypto Cliff LLC. Hey, I got courses available. I got 6 more slots available for my one-on-one, my 12-week lifetime mentorship. After those 6 slots, I'm done with that one. I also have another 6-month course I'm getting ready to drop, where I not only just teach crypto investing, I also teach stock investing, precious metals investing, real estate investing, how to become an entity, how to become your own business credit, international business transactions, and a lot more. All right. I also have a futures course. You want to learn how to trade the crypto futures markets, the most lucrative market on the planet right now? Definitely hit me up. I got you on that one as well.
Let's talk a little bit, Cliff, about the blockchain revolution.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even. I'm just gonna flip the page. Like I was gonna flip the page, and I'm just gonna keep writing. I can't even. I had no idea, honestly. And I'm always transparent. Like, and that's what I shared with you. A lot of times when Cliff was just sharing this information with me, I swore up and down I knew about the blockchain, but really I was boxed in to my particular platform.
Mm.
I wasn't outside the box. I wasn't looking at everything that was happening in the world. So when you started telling me things, I started doing the research. And I was like, people lie, but the numbers don't. The receipts were there. And I would hear bits and pieces of the story, but I never understood. And it's like, that's why when talking to you, I was like, this thing's so much bigger than what I ever even imagined, because I felt like sometimes it's like how we say, when I'm mad at someone, I'm like, yo, she playing checkers and I'm over here playing chess. That's exactly what was happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the things that you shared, even with us today, that's how I feel. Like I can't even believe all of this was happening. And all of it ties right back to the blockchain.
Everything is going blockchain. Larry Fink, the CEO of the #1 investment corporation on the planet, who literally owns everything, Larry Fink, he said that by the year 2027, everything, and I do mean every asset class, will be tokenized. Every asset class will be tokenized. Think about that. That means every single asset class on the planet will be blockchain. See, people think cryptocurrency and blockchain go hand in hand. That's completely false. The cryptocurrency market is just one category of the blockchain. The blockchain is a system of accountability that brings and governs and gives us access to how we store and control our own data. That's the basic premise behind blockchain tech. And everything, and I do mean every industry in the world, has already been infiltrated by the blockchain. We can go to the industrial industry. We can go to the fashion industry. We can go to the real estate industry. We can go to the healthcare industry. One of my favorite coins is XRPH. XRPH, that's the XRP's healthcare coin, right? We can go to every single industry. The music industry has already been infiltrated by blockchain tech. Every industry. This is the newfound way of the way we're doing things in this world. And if you're not joining into the fight, if you're not jumping in right now, you will either be an investor of the blockchain or enslaved by it. Because it's coming regardless. A lot of y'all are using blockchain tech right now, don't even know it. If you're on Google, guess what? Google has a partnership with Quant. You're using blockchain tech.
I didn't know that. I'm going to listen to this playback, and all I'm going to hear me say this whole hour is, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, everybody uses Amazon, right?
Right.
Guess whose blockchain Amazon uses? VeChain. Let's get it. Oh, let's talk about it. I'm just on the tip of the iceberg.
I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, I'm telling you, I don't know, just when you started coaching me, I think that my eyes started to open, because how will we know? Like, I'm in the blockchain space, but I had no idea that all of these companies would know that. So I'm thankful, I'm grateful that I have a coach. And I think everybody in the world should have a coach. Yeah, one thing I heard somebody say recently was like, everybody, especially African Americans, need a mental health, somebody to talk to for mental health. But I'm not saying that that's not true, but just from a financial standpoint, I feel like everybody needs a coach, because here I thought I was doing something. And then I feel like, when I got to give a plug to Akil Muhammad, I'm so thankful and grateful for that introduction to you, that I felt like sometimes you have to align yourself with people. We tell our children all the time, you're a product of your environment. So sometimes, and I shared with you on our show before, I heard somebody in my church say, don't ask for my insight if you're not willing to pay my invoice. So I don't take you for granted and be like, okay, yes, Akil made that introduction and we met. My thing was, I want my time. I want my Diana and Cliff time with that one-on-one course. That's why I did that, because yes, you're teaching me trading, but even while I'm learning trading, I'm still learning about all of this. And I love the fact that I feel like when this was, even though I got my little note, I love the fact that, and I tell the team all the time, I was like, my number one thing is like, you have to have a vision. And I was like, what is it that I want to get accomplished from the relationship? Because that was why I wanted you to coach me. And I was like, I want to work on that portfolio, because I'm thinking, I really thought I was doing something over here. I was really thinking I am strategically positioned. I am in this amazing situation. And I'm not going to say that I'm not, but I've gotten to, I felt as far as I could go. But then you align yourself with somebody who, has more wisdom than what you do and has more information than what you do. And then when you put those partnerships together, I just feel like I'm excited about what's coming down the pipeline, because what I don't know, my coach does. My coach does. And I'm like, how do you find out all of this information? Because that's my number one question to you. Every Wednesday, 4 to 5, I might as well just hold up a sign on the Zoom and say, where did you get that from? Where did you learn that from? Tell people, like, how can they learn more even about the blockchain?
Well, you definitely have to. At this point, when I first got into the game, I just go by myself personally. When I first came into the cryptocurrency market, it was brand spanking new. I've been in it since 2011. So I literally watched everything birth from existence. I watched everything: the DeFi market, the NFT market, different types of wallets, different types of levels of blockchain. I watched everything come into existence. So I am literally crypto history, and I like to say that I'm crypto history because I've been in the space. I will tell anybody, I would definitely get with someone who has history in the game versus somebody who think they know. It's a lot of fake YouTubers out here right now talking about the cryptocurrency market. There's a lot of fake TikTokers who are talking about the cryptocurrency market. A lot of people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They really don't, honestly. So get with somebody who has longevity in the game and someone who actually has a proven system, right? A proven system. I break down the portfolios of my one-on-one students all the time. I was on a call a month ago with one of my students. She had 11 grand she wanted to put into the market. Okay, cool. Let's see what we can do. Let's break down what the potential profit gain will be once these coins hit a certain level. Once they hit their projected price points. 11,000. I show her what she can potentially get anywhere between 500K and 700,000 back from that $11,000 investment. And it's all behind the expertise that I actually know because I have been through the space.
Tell them what that number was again. I know the people in the back of the church missed it.
Anywhere between 520 to 715,000.
From $11,000.
From $11,000 investment.
So sometimes people would, and just to elaborate on something you said, because I just said that this morning to the team. I said to them, I had heard somebody say it's a lot of broke know-it-alls out here. And these broke know-it-alls, they got all the information, they hear them tell it, but you ain't never did nothing with it, and there's no receipts accountable for it. So keep on listening to these broke know-it-alls, because sometimes people, like I always say, there's a spectator and there's a player. And a lot of times people will they want all the information for free. And you don't want to invest into your future. The way that we're headed in this world financially, I mean, people like for me or whatever, I have positioned myself. I swore up and down I knew everything to you. I swore up and down I knew about this blockchain until I met you, and I just was like, I'm going to humbly sit down here and I'm going to pull out my pen. I'm going to open up my wallet and I'm going to say, you know what? Sometimes you just got to own it. And I thought I did. I'm not saying I don't know some stuff, because I know some stuff, but I don't know how to get to that next level. But I had the wisdom to put somebody who does. But a lot of times people, $11,000 to position yourself to that, like, I don't understand how people don't see the value in coaching. And for me, that's why I'm in my little season, this next season right now. Sometimes people say it's wrong to be selfish, but I'm totally laser focused on this upcoming market. I learned that from you. And I'm like, I got to stop allowing myself to be over here, over there, and to be pulled in 1,000 different directions. And at the end of the day, I realized people don't really care about you like that. Like, sometimes we as leaders, we have these Wednesday, I be on Clip's couch on Wednesday still. Aside from he's teaching me all about the world, all about the blockchain, all about trading, I be laid out on the couch getting my mental health little conversations in too. And I'm like, sometimes people they'll drain you dry and bring nothing to the table. And then I used to just sit back and be like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Where they at? Like, and they don't even show up. And I'm like, we're in a situation where you dropped all these nuggets on us today and told us where we were in the world. And I don't know if people understand it, but what do you suggest that we do now financially? Because it sounds like we're about to be in trouble.
I think we're already in trouble. We're already in hyperinflation. They've already started shutting down all the farmers. Look at it. They're literally paying farmers not to farm now. They've already done that. We're literally on the last reserves of our gas prices. By the election time this year, things are going to hit the fan. And a lot of people don't understand what that really, really means until it actually happens, because most people don't prepare for the worst. They prepare for the right now. You're absolutely right on that other point. I want to hit on that. But the thing, when it comes down to people being in your circle, people being around you, draining you, you have to understand and realize that most people are not against you. They're just for themselves. Most people are not against you. They're just for themselves. So it's highly important for you to be selfish towards yourself sometimes, just so you can get to the next plateau, so you can get to the next level, because you don't know what that journey of you being selfish is doing for someone else. That could be motivation for another person, watching you just do you and do you at the best levels. But right now we're already walking down S Creek. We're already down it. We already walking down that creek. Hyperinflation is here. We're literally in a bubble right now, the largest financial crisis bubble in U.S. history. Our debt is 10 times larger than the Great Depression. We're already at that part. The bubble can literally pop in the next 2 seconds, and everything else is going down here. So what you can do to offset yourself or to prepare yourself for this financial crisis is getting ready to come. And this is not even just, we're not even talking conspiracy theory. This is facts. You can go look this up. I want you to go look it up.
Everything Cliff tells me, when we are done talking, you could go to YouTube, you could go anywhere, and it was right there. And I honestly didn't know. And I believe in fact checking, and I tell people fact check me. But I do that because I have to read more into the story, and he has inspired me to want to know more, because I totally consume myself with just a small fraction of the blockchain, and I fell in love with that one thing, and I didn't know to get out of my own way and enlarge my territory. I thought I had just hit the lottery with what I was doing, and I positioned myself, but I honestly have to say, to be transparent, I didn't realize how huge this was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to educate people. I want people to know what's happening here in blockchain. And when I was talking to you, I was like, this is huge. That's why I'm like, we talked, and I was like, Cliff, you should come. Like, we're getting ready to go into the busiest season, for us. And I was like, you should come and talk to our Hits family at least like once a month, and just keep sharing, because number one, I'll be over here writing. I'm being selfish, because that means I get 2 hours on Wednesday. I get the hour I'm here with him, and then I get my hour coaching, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I just feel like you have me looking at life completely different. I so thank God that I understand the blockchain. I so thank God that I understand the magnitude and the power of it from the platform that I'm currently in. But you have made me look at it completely different. And I had no idea about Amazon. I had no idea what Russia had done with XRP until we started talking. And I was just like, I feel like I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God I'm found, though. I thank God that I'm found, and we're here, and we're going to be educating people in the blockchain space. And that was one of the things when we first started talking. I was like, listen, let's collaborate. Let's do some things together, because I have an amazing platform that I understand about the blockchain, and you have this educational wisdom, and you check all these boxes over here. And I'm like, I just think the world should know like what is really happening here. And I'm thankful for your time. I'm thankful for your talent and everything that you shared with us. So I'm hoping, Yes?
Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm thankful for you actually having me on here. It's definitely been a blessing. Definitely been a blessing. But I will say this to people: there are three things you need to really, really get into. First is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the most deflationary asset in human history. I would definitely look into diving into crypto, but just don't dive in. Don't be one of these people who just go to Robinhood or go to Coinbase and all that stuff and think you're doing it. Really get with somebody who knows what they're doing, who can really, really show you the way in the cryptocurrency space. Also, precious metals. Remember, that's God's money. No matter where you are on the planet, somebody's going to accept those precious metals. And I'm not talking about trading the precious metals markets in the traditional futures markets. No, I'm talking about actually having physical precious metals. Also, international real estate. International real estate is a great way for you to hold your money, hold your funds. Also, buying and selling land here in the United States, or just buying and holding land here in the United States. I have my personal goal is to get 1,000 acres of land. By the time I'm 40, I got less than a year, right? But yeah, so those three industries right there would literally, really, really, well, four industries would literally, really, really put you in the game when it comes down to how to take that liability called cash and turn it into an actual asset.
Alrighty, I want to thank you, Cliff, for coming back last week as well as this week, and we're gonna figure out what week Cliff will be back, sharing so much knowledge, so much information when it comes to blockchain, cryptocurrency, world current events. I got my own CNN, CNBC. I am Mr. Money, Cliff O'Neill. I got direct access. And I'm so thankful and grateful. So I want to thank you guys for joining us this week here on Hits 92.3. We're here each and every Wednesday sharing information about blockchains with a purpose and educating you guys on the blockchain space. So we will see you. And it's funny because my guest next week, that is everything with him is all about precious metals, gold and silver. So it's funny that you say that. And he's another gentleman that I do business with. So I'm so thankful and grateful for the people that I have been blessed to have the opportunity to meet. So we'll be here back here next Wednesday from 12 to 1, sharing all things blockchain. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.
I don't think I pressed send, or I don't have a text message from you, and I know I sent it to myself, but I don't